Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Professor Henry Bwisa of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. This is my continuous lecture for students of research. This is research methodology, and we're talking about research proposal writing. We're only covering the minimum, the irreducible minimum or minimum that would go in a research proposal, and therefore we are calling it a minimalist approach. So, part 5 of the 7 parts, you can reach me at that email, bwihem@gmail.com, bwihem@gmail.com. You can reach me also via phone number +254 722 858507. You could also use my university email, hbwisa@jku.ac.ke. Yes, as I've said, this is part 5 of a 7-part series of research proposal writing by me, Professor Bwisa of the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in Kenya. In part 1, at that link, we introduced the concept of proposal writing, with part 2 at that link and 3 at that link covering chapter 1 of our proposal. Part 4 covered the literature review and can be found at that link. This part 5 introduces the methodology aspect of a research proposal. Remember, we're taking a minimalist approach. We're giving you what we think are the minimum, the irreducible minimum that should go in proposal writing. You can expand it. There are other versions. So, we're now talking about chapter 3 of the proposal writing. Chapter 3 normally covers methodology. And methodology in research may simply be defined as the systematic method to resolve a research problem through data gathering using various techniques, providing an interpretation of data gathered and drawing conclusions about the research data. I got this from that source, Murphy and Viojana of 2009. Now, the methodology section describes the actions to be taken to investigate and research the problem and the rationale for the specific processes and the techniques to use within the research to identify, collect, and analyze information that will help understand the problem. So then, how to write an effective methodology section? This is the irreducible minimum, in my opinion. 1, introduce your methods. Introduce the methodological approach used in investigating your research problem. Tell us, is it quantitative, qualitative, or mixed methods that we are going to use? Number 2, establish methodological connection. Explain the relevance of your methodological approach to the overall research design. Number 3, discuss the sampling process. Explain the reason behind your sampling procedure. Number 4, introduce your instruments. Indicate the instruments you are going to use in collecting your data and explain how you are going to use them. And lastly, number 5, discuss your analysis. Explain how you are going to analyze the results of your data gathering process. So this is a guide. Other authors may give you a different version. It is not one fits it all. So, just to re-emphasize, let's define methodology and method in research, because these two terms are sometimes confusing. Now, methodology is a strategy or approach to doing research, but method is a technique used to accomplish the strategy. With one methodology, several different methods can be employed. Let's use some analogies here. It was Albert Einstein who said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress, giving birth to evolution." So, let us use our imagination. Let your imagination run wild in trying to understand the difference between methodology and method. Now, imagine you are building a house. One, you will need a house plan. There it is. Plus, you will need building tools. There they are. And with the house plan and the building tools, you will create a house. There you are. So, you're building a house. You need the house plan. You need the house tools, the building tools. And you won't go wrong. You'll build your house. Analogical. The house plan is like research methodology. So if you're going to do your research, you need research methodology. Plus, you read research methods. And with that, you'll produce a research report. So, methodology is like a plan, an overall plan. Method is like the tool to be used to do your research. And now, let's go traveling. Let's liken the process of research to somebody's journey from origin to destination. The how question would be, how did she travel? And the answer could be by air, or by sea, or by land. This and can be likened to methodology in research. The what question would be, what means did she use? And the answer could be by boat, helicopter, car, etc. And this can be likened to method in research. So the how did she travel is methodology, but the what means did she use is method. Let's look at them. There you are. How did she travel? Methodology. By air, by sea, by land. What did she use? Method. Yes, by air, but you can use either a helicopter, an aeroplane, or even a balloon. So that's the method. Similarly, in research, the methodology can be composed of methods, methods of doing research. We shall see them later. By sea, by boat, by ship, by land, either by rail or by road. There it is, by rail, by train, by road, bicycle, car, bus. So we again letting our mind run wild in matters differentiating methodology and method. So, while methodology is a process of gathering data, answering the how of data collection, method is a specific technique of gathering the data, answering the what technique of data collection. Yes, we can now look at that, kinds of method, and the standard research methods. You see, aggregative, like literature review or literature study, document analysis, query-based web research, algorithmic information mining, those are methods. You know, observational methods, naturalistic observation, laboratory observation, protocol study, systematic self-monitoring, interrogative methods, questionnaire survey, in-depth interview, self-reporting, focus group sessions, experimental methods, true experiment, quasi-experiment, instrumented measurement, explorative case analysis, interventional methods, physical specimen testing, clinical testing, planned user trials, active diagnosis, stochastic methods, frequentist statistical analysis, Bayesian statistical analysis, random statistical analysis, evidence-based reasoning, transformative, problem formulating studies, abductive model synthesis, proving of tangible concepts, evolving system development, and so on and so forth. Yes, we can go further for marketers, market research. It can be primary research, and in primary research can be either quantitative or qualitative. In quantitative, the method could be surveys, questionnaires, phones, one-on-one interview. In qualitative, could be focused groups, in-depth interviews, observation. In secondary data, it could be public sources, commercial sources, educational institutions. And so the aim, those are the methods, tools of doing research. We can go further and identify primary research methods and techniques. Primary research, in quantitative data, surveys, personal interview, intercepts, mail, in-house self-administered, telephone, fax, email, web, experiments, mechanical observation, simulation. In qualitative data, the methods would be focused groups, individual depth interviews, human observation, case studies. Now, here is a guide for you when you want to choose a research method. Ask yourself, does the question you are investigating involve opinion or behavior? If it involves opinions, can the respondent answer accurately? Like when you're going to use Likert scale tool. Now, if you think the answer or the respondent can answer accurately, then you may want to choose exploratory or precision research. But you see that? Yes, if it's exploratory, then individual interview focus groups could be ideal. But if it's precision, then surveys would suffice. Now, if it's not, is neither exploratory or precision research, then projective methods that respondents project their views on others. Now, if your question is not involving opinions, if it involves behavior, then can behavior be well observed? Like case study, for example. If yes, it can be well observed, then observation, like how long does a shopper take? Maybe you're doing mystery shopping for a company. What does she look at? You're observing. If the behavior is not well observed, then experimentation, determine causality, like impact study. So this is a rough guide on choosing which method you can use in your research. Yes, there are certain influences on the choice of research method. One, your own values as a researcher may influence the choice of method. The time that you have at hand will also influence your research method. The money, if you money, some methods like postal questionnaires might prove costly. Your ethical considerations are important when you are choosing your research method. We're also talking about what was said entirely. More consideration will be who is funding the research. You might pick a topic to research because of its newsworthy, its value, and all that. So it's sometimes important to take into consideration these aspects, and indeed they will dictate your method of research. Particularly for students, the time that you have might be limited, and therefore if you choose a method like observation, then you might take, the time might not be on your side. We are also talking about the same key issues, but now I think elaborated a little more. That is representativeness. Your study, qualitative and quantitative. If it is not necessary for representativeness, if it is just exploratory, then maybe qualitative will be exploratory in the sense that representativeness does not matter. But when representative matters, then quantitative methods, reliability. Again, reliability will dictate what method of research you want to take. Validity also, and ethics, like we had said. So, it is advisable not just to jump into a method like it is very fashionable for many students to jump onto Likert scale. And the Likert scale normally just measures opinions. And yet, in the title, it will have been assessment of. We are not assessing much through Likert scale. Likert scale is mainly giving us opinion. So we are talking perceptions. So if in the title is perceptions of managers on ABCD, then Likert scale would be very ideal. But when you're going to assess an effect, for example, then Likert scale may not be the ideal. So in a separate video on this channel, I will cover research design. Now, if you enjoyed it, like it, share it, subscribe. And if you wish to support us, bring you more, then donate by visiting that website. You can also use BuyQuote's number 547-6465. Yes, have a good observational methodical day, won't you?